Hi, freshmen. Welcome to your last week of school. Can you believe that we made it? Hopefully, fingers crossed, prayer said, knock on wood, throw a chicken, I don't care, whatever you have to do for good luck. Hopefully, this is the end of our distance learning time together. I can't wait to have you back in my room next year for 10th grade English. And I will be very upset if this is how we have to start next year, too. But we're going to think positive thoughts, okay? And prep that this will be our last week of distance learning, so we're going to finish strong. So I am on myshakespeare.com, and we are on Act 5, Scene 3. And I'm looking very rough today. You're going to have to just go with it. All right, so I've scrolled down a little bit. In the beginning of Scene 3, we see Paris, who is the one that was betrothed to Juliet. That's the one that Juliet's dad wanted her to marry. She faked her death to avoid marrying him because she's already married to Romeo, which her dad does not know. So Paris comes in. We get this beautiful picture of him putting flowers on her grave at night and telling her that he really does love her. So if we had time to really do this play properly, we would have gone into Paris being a very sympathetic character. He's not a playboy. He really did believe that he loved Juliet, and she just did not love him back, unfortunately. So now we have Romeo and Balthazar are here too. They don't know that Paris is here, okay? So Romeo comes to kill himself next to Juliet. That's his really great plan because he believes Juliet is also dead. Remember, she's lying in Capulet's tomb. Romeo, give me that mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. So here he's talking to Balthazar, his servant, kind of like his butler. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee. Whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence be gone. But if thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I further shall intend to do, by heaven I shall tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea. So he tells his servant, like, you got to get out of here. You got to leave. Do not come back or I'm going to rip you apart limb by limb because I'm crazy. And all I'm planning on doing is saying goodbye to Juliet and taking her ring. But whatever else I might do, like, don't stay. Don't stay. Of course, this guy's going to stay. All right. Imagine your best friend tells you, like, all I'm going to do is this. But if you stay, I'm going to be so mad at you. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. You're definitely going to stay. Balthazar tells him, I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you. So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. He gives him some money. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow. So he tells him like a big goodbye. Very suspicious. For all this same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt. So we have that couplet, okay, which tells our audience, pay attention. So the audience is supposed to pay attention that Balthazar is suspicious and he's going to hide out. Romeo, thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorge with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food. So he's comparing the tomb to a jaw. He's doing this extended metaphor where the tomb is a jaw, and he's saying he's going to cram it with even more food because he's going to kill himself. So he goes in. Paris, this is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, which with grief it is supposed the fair creature died, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I'll apprehend him. So Paris goes up to Romeo. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die. Romeo, I must indeed die, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone. Let them affright thee. I beseech thee, youth. Put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. O be gone. By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone. Live, and hereafter say, of madmen's mercy bid thee run away. So Romeo's telling him several times here, I'm planning on hurting myself. I want to kill myself. So he's telling Paris, just get out of here, go away so I don't hurt you too. But Paris is not listening. He's saying, like, you're going to fight me. You got to get out of here. I do defy thy conjurations and apprehend thee for a felon here. Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy. Oh, Lord, they fight. I'll go call the watch. Oh, I'm slain. That's Paris. If thou be merciful, open the tomb, lay me with Juliet. and Paris dies. So now Romeo's killed Paris. All right, he's killed another Capulet ally. Romeo, in faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris. What said my man when my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so, or did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet, to think it was so? Oh, give me thy hand, one writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. All right, so this line here in sour misfortune's book, again, he's not blaming himself. He's saying that, oh man, fate had me kill you, man. Like, oh, what a wretched life have I lived. Not by his own choices, but by fate, which is so ridiculous. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave, oh no, a lantern, slaughtered youth, for here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there, by a dead man interred. So then he lies Paris in the Capulet tomb. How oft when men are at the point of death have they been merry, which their keepers call lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this lightning? O my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. So he's looking at Juliet and he's like, oh, Juliet, you're still so beautiful. Your lips are so red. Your cheeks are so flushed. You don't look pale as death at all. You haven't been conquered by death. Like, no poop, stupid. She's not dead. That's why she's not pale. Have you ever seen a dead body? You've seen like 3. You should know that Juliet's not dead if her lips are still rouged and her cheeks are still red, if her bowels haven't been excavated. Okay? He's not paying attention. He's too caught up in the romance to really be realistic here. Super annoying to realistic people like me. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his that was thine enemy? So Romeo says, oh, Tybalt, the favor I can do you is to kill the person who killed you. Well, who killed Tybalt? Romeo. So he's like, oh, I'll do you a favor and kill myself. Forgive me, cousin. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-weary flesh. All right, so Emma, I hope you're paying attention. This is a shout out to you, girl. Remember I said look to the stars? Here again, he's saying he's going to shake the yoke of unlucky stars from his flesh. So in his death, he'll finally get rid of his terrible fate. It's like, oh, you stupid, stupid boy. It's not fate. You've been making terrible choices. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you, the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks, thy seasick, weary bark. Here's to my love. And he takes his poison and drinks it. Oh, true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die. And he's gone. Hope you guys are enjoying my acting. And right when Romeo dies of poison, Friar Lawrence enters with a crow and a spade to try to get into the tomb himself and save everybody. He's just about a day short. A day late and a nickel short. Friar Lawrence, St. Francis be my speed. How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who's there? Balthazar, remember that's Romeo's butler. Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well. Bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torch is yond that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern, it burneth in the Capel's monument. So he's saying, like, who's in the Capulet tomb? I think he knows the answer. Balthazar, it doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love. Who is it? Romeo. How long hath he been there? Full half an hour. Go with me to the vault. I dare not, sir. My master knows but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intents. Stay then, I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Oh, much I fear some ill, unlucky thing. As I did sleep under this yew tree here, I dreamt my master and another fought, and that my master slew him. Was that a dream? No, it was not a dream. The kid actually did hear him fight and kill Paris. Romeo! Alack, alack, what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? What means these masterless and gory swords to lie discolored by this place of peace? So he's seen all the blood and the swords from when Romeo and Paris fought. Romeo, oh pale, who else? What, Paris too? And steeped in blood? Ah, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance. The lady stirs. So right after Romeo's dead, Paris is dead, Juliet's like, she's waking up from her magic potion that the friar gave her. Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I do remember where well I should be, and there I am. So she's like, I remember my part of the deal, man. I was supposed to take this potion, fall asleep for a few days, wake up, Romeo's supposed to be here and take me away. I did my share. I'm here. Now where's Romeo? Friar Lawrence, I hear some noise. Lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. All right, so look here. A greater power than we can contradict hath destroyed our intent, so has wrecked our plan. But it wasn't a greater power. It was miscommunications and Romeo being way too rushed. The friar pulls into this whole idea of fate over choice as well. Come, come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. Oh, there's more noise. I dare no longer stay. So the friar's chickening out because he hears people coming too, and he's worried about getting in trouble. Not being a good pastor right now. He's told Juliet, like, get out of there. Our plan's wrecked. I'll go put you in a nunnery. Like, you'll be fine. Juliet, go, get thee hence, for I will not away. So I'm not going to leave. And the friar still leaves. What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all. Oh, hold on. And left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make me die with a restorative. So she kisses Romeo, hoping that maybe there's some poison on his lips for her. Thy lips are warm. Then the watchman and Paris's butler come in too. Lead, boy, which way? Yea, noise? Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There rust, and let me die. This is the place, there where the torch doth burn. The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Go, some of you, whoe'er you find, attach. Pitiful sight, here lies the county slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead, who here hath lain these 2 days buried. Go, tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues. Some others search. We see the ground whereon those woes do lie, but the true ground of all these piteous woes we cannot without circumstance descry. All right, so here we have an interesting thing, an ABA. It's not a couplet. It's not a true couplet, but it does have a rhyme there. Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard. Hold him in safety till the prince come hither. Here's a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and spade from him as he was coming from the churchyard side. Great suspicion. Stay with the friar too. And here comes the prince. What misadventure so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest? What should it be that they so shriek abroad? The people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument. What fear is this which startles in our ears? Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed. Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes. Here's a friar and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs. Oh, heavens! Oh, wife, look how our daughter bleeds! This dagger hath mistaken, for lo, his house is empty on the back of a Montague. It is missheathed in my daughter's bosom. Oh me, this sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre. So now the lady's like, seeing all this death is making me want to die. The prince, come, Montague, for thou art early up to see thy son and heir now early down. Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. So now Montague's wife is dead. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age? Look, and thou shalt see. Oh, thou untaught, what manners is in this to press before thy father to a grave? So he's like, oh, Romeo, how could you be so rude to die before me? Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, their true descent, and then will I be general of your woes and lead you even to death. Meantime, forbear, and let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion. All right, so then we're going to skip through a little bit. The friar tells the whole thing that Romeo and Juliet were actually married, and because they had been secretly married, she couldn't marry Paris. So then when Romeo killed Tybalt and he was exiled, she freaked out. She said, come up with it like some wild plan. So I did. I gave her a sleeping potion. Meantime, I wrote to Romeo that he should come and get her from the grave and they should go away. But Friar John, who was supposed to take my letter, got kept abroad. He didn't get the letter to Romeo in time, so Romeo didn't know. So then Romeo kills himself. Then she kills herself. Okay? And then Balthazar says, yep, I can corroborate. I brought my master news of Juliet's death. He came, he told me not to go into the vault or else he would kill me. So I could see that he did it too. And then the page says, Paris came to strew flowers on his lady's grave. Then they had a fight. All right. So then here's the prince's final decree. This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die, and die with Juliet. Where be these enemies, Capulet, Montague? See what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished. Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand. But I can give thee more, for I will ray her statue in pure gold, that while Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet. So Montague says he's going to build a statue of Juliet to honor her. As rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie, poor sacrifices of our enmity. A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was there a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. And that's it. Okay, so the main conflict here is not between Romeo and Juliet, because remember, conflicts get solved. The main conflict here is between Capulets and Montagues. It's this rivalry. And in the end, by their children's death, that conflict gets solved. They become allies, and then Montague actually puts up a statue of Juliet to honor her sacrifice and her bravery in loving his son Romeo. So points for Juliet. I told you, Romeo comes out looking like a fool in this, but Juliet comes out looking pretty good. We also have more evidence of Juliet being the superior person. She's always been logical. She went with the plan. And even in her death, she comes out more masculine. She kills herself by a dagger versus poison, which is typically the more effeminate way to die by suicide. And then the very last line, for never was there a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. So notice Juliet's the one who gets possession here. It's not Romeo and his Juliet. And think about how easy that line could have been. It could have been, for never was a story of more regret than this of Romeo and his sweet Juliet. Super easy to write either way. So I think it's very important here that Shakespeare has flipped it. He's given Juliet the superiority in this story, as much superiority as you can get. Okay, so it's a fun way to look at the story of Romeo and Juliet. Hope you had a good time reading the play with me. I know I had a good time acting it out for you, even when I look hot mess express. So that's it. No new assignment this week. Just make sure all your old stuff is caught up, because this is the end of the grading period. Have a good year. I'll see you next year. I love you. Bye.